Welcome back, friends, to another monthly portfolio update where I'm going to share with you openly my stocks, ETFs, crypto holdings, as well as some passive income and cashback I got for the month. But before we dive in, actually really interesting. Recently, a friend of mine asked me, Kai, how long you think you're going to do these monthly updates? And at first I was like, why is he asking this? Like, why would he care? And then I really thought about it, and it's actually true, right? Because it's really interesting psychology. In the beginning, when you start sharing openly and transparently, and you see your growth, you start your investment portfolio from 100 euros or dollars or whatever it is, go to 1,000, people applaud you. They say, well done, keep it up, keep on going. And then over time, if you do well, hopefully you reach 10,000. One day, maybe 100,000. And then eventually, if you do things well, you might hit even 1 million. And at some stage, it's really interesting. It goes from supporting you to people criticizing you, right? Why are you showing off your wealth? And, you were born with a golden spoon and what have you. So it's really interesting psychology. And I've seen a lot of other YouTubers also starting off sharing their journey very openly. But at some stage, you got to stop. At this stage, I think my portfolio is still sort of reasonable, right? People can relate to it. But if you do a portfolio update, I grew my portfolio from 12 million to 12.1 million. You start attracting quite a lot of negativity. And I'm doing these updates to inspire you, not to create negativity or whatever. I mean, obviously, I still have a long way to go to reach to such a number. But I know if I continue what I'm doing, I will eventually reach there. It will take me a couple of years, but I know I will get there. So, at some stage, I will have to decide, obviously openly communicate when I will stop them. But for the time being, I'll still continue doing them. But just so you guys get my thought process, and I thought it was quite an interesting psychology, how people eventually flip the switch and rather support you, they go against you. So at some stage, I will just obviously talk about more, general investing practices, what I do with my money and so on, without necessarily exactly revealing my real value and portfolio. But let's dive right into last month's performance. And right off the bat, as you can see over here on my Delta portfolio tracker, I have the widget over here on the phone, which is really cool. So I can always have front and center my portfolio value. And that's obviously for my stocks and ETF holdings. And I'm very close to that magical threshold of $100,000. So yeah, really excited. Sadly not euros, only dollars, but still really, really nice. I mean, I remember when I started these videos a couple of years ago, it was significantly less. And yeah, I'm really happy to have this. And of course, my crypto holding is obviously even more. And my real estate is the biggest part. But now I'm really focusing on stocks and ETFs in recent times and making additions to that only. So I'm really happy to hopefully cross the 100K very soon. I was hoping maybe to have it done this week. But unfortunately, in the US, the markets are closed today and tomorrow, which is also strange, right? Tomorrow is Independence Day. Today, they're closed. So, hey, it is what it is. So next week, I will do another weekly edition, as I do every single week. I buy more of the stocks or ETFs that I want to add to my portfolio. Probably it's going to be $500. So I should be getting pretty close. So if not next week, then hopefully the following week. If the markets continue to grow as they have done for the last few weeks, which was nice to see, quite nice rebounding. But let's jump into each individual broker to show you how things are developing. So first up, over here on Interactive Brokers, where I currently have the biggest part of my holdings, which is just over 55K. You can see, this year I'm up by almost $5,000. So really nicely rebounded. I haven't actually bought any new holdings this year. So I'm really happy to see this. If I dive into the portfolio, as you can see, I only have one single holding over here, the S&P 500 of my choice, which I buy through State Street. Is currently the cheapest ETF that I could find at 0.03%. Expense ratio makes it very attractive. I have a number of videos why I decided to go with this. You can check it afterwards in my S&P 500 playlist. But yeah, basically you can see in total I'm up almost $6,000 just by having my money sitting over here, invested of course, and I haven't made any additions for quite a while. As most recently, I used mostly Etoro. I'll come to this in a second, because for me, now living in the UAE most of the year, it's easier to make additions in dollars without any fees, and I don't pay commissions on the ETFs, while here I do pay small commissions. But of course, still, obviously, if I could only choose one broker, that is the safest one, I could really say, maybe not the prettiest, for sure not the prettiest, but really safe and works like clockwork, then definitely you got to give it to Interactive Brokers. They know what they're doing. They can operate on a global basis. When I moved from Europe to the UAE, just informed them and they switched my account. Next day it was under the UAE entity. So it was really cool. Many other brokers, they tell you to sell your portfolio and so forth. So it's really, really powerful. And I'm soon going to make a video how you can open a second account under your name, but you could use that, for example, to invest for your kids, etc., or for another purpose that you want to have just for that specific purpose. So yeah, really, really powerful broker for sure. With this, let's jump over to Etoro, my second biggest holding. And here we are inside my portfolio. You can see overall the total current holding is just shy of $35,000, which is really cool when I think about that. I only started last year to invest with Etoro. Really nice to see the growth over time through diligent and consistent investing every single week. You can see already in the plus. When I made this video a couple of months ago, I was down quite a bit, so it really recovered very nicely, which is of course nice to see. And you can see here my holding, more of S&P 500, of course, the same ETF I also buy on the active brokers. I here also buy the NASDAQ 100, which is a bit more tech-heavy ETF, I would say, based on US tech. So I like tech, so that's why I invest in it. Then, of course, my Amazon position, which I started not so long ago, and I'm already up almost $1,000. So that was a really good pick, and I'm really loving the company, the roadmap ahead. So I'll continue investing with them for sure and more into it. Whenever I see a little correction in the market, I buy more of it. And most recently, I finally pulled the trigger on Google. I was thinking about it for a long, long time. When you look at their PE ratio, it's just crazy cheap for such a tech company. And honestly, as a user of Google, I guess all of us, yes, on the one hand side, you can see search going down, but they invest in so many other things, even with Waymo, with Gemini, which is getting better and better. So many other things that really future-proof themselves away from search. I'm really quite bullish on them long term. So yeah, I added it back into my portfolio, and as you can see, already up 70 cents. So I'm onto something there. But yeah, again, that's a long-term position and hold for me. So overall, really happy with it. And the cool thing is, as I said, with US dollars, it's really easy to deposit fee-free with my UAE card into Etoro. It immediately arrives and I can invest it instantly. So that's really, really cool. In addition to being, of course, a club tier level member, right now Platinum. Hopefully soon I'll reach 50K and then I'm Platinum Plus, which brings me even more benefits, some of those which you can see over here. So that's a really cool added benefit of using Etoro. And lastly, we move to Trading 212, one of the brokers I can always recommend. Super simple, super easy to use, zero commissions on stocks or ETFs. So absolutely love it. Haven't invested for a while because, as I said, right now I'm focusing on reaching the Platinum Plus level with Etoro. Once I have that, I will again diversify more into Trading 212 because it's just such a breeze and joy to use. The platform looks amazing. And yeah, here I have two of my portfolio holdings, more of the same, iShares and the S&P 500 ETF, exactly the same ETFs I bought also on Etoro, and the same S&P 500 ETF I also bought on Interactive Broker. So you can see I'm really buying similar things, just spread out across different brokerages. And also here, I'm slightly in the plus. But again, the last time I made any additions to Trading 212 was quite a while ago, last year sometime. Hopefully in the near future, I will be adding more into that portfolio over here. And if you want to start up Trading 212 for yourself, check it out and make your first commission-free trade, then definitely use my link down in the description below. And with it, you get a free share valued up to $100 or pounds. So definitely check it out and grab yourself that little bonus. Right, with this, we move over to my crypto holdings. And this right now is pretty much all of it on Ledger hardware wallet, of the exchange. I just sleep more peacefully at night, even though it has different set of issues, right? You have to really think about where you keep your seed phrase and the hardware wallet and so forth. But generally, it's definitely the better and more safer way to go about keeping your funds safe. But yeah, you can see really nicely development over time. Of course, a lot of people were tempted to sell when Bitcoin hit 100,000. But honestly, I'm a long-term investor. I don't even follow the price on a daily basis. But I'm sure eventually we're going to see 200,000 potentially, if not more. So I'm holding on to it. And yeah, the value really grows nicely. As you can see, it's almost twice my stock and ETF holding. So that's why right now I'm not buying more of it. I rather want to balance it with my stocks and ETFs to be ideally number 2, to have real estate number 1, stocks ETF number 2, and then Bitcoin number 3. But as I always say, if it keeps on growing and goes to 300,000 or more, well, then so be it. I'm not going to be upset about the growth, but at the same time, I'm also not planning to take profits because, yeah, I just don't think it's the best time to take profits right now. I still think we're early in the crypto cycle and Bitcoin still has a bright future ahead. So at this stage, I'm not planning to trim anything, but I'm also not actively buying any more of it. With this, we move to the interest I earned in the last month. And in total, that was only around $75. So not that much. I had much higher month, but at the same time, also had huge cash expenses because, yeah, we finally settled into our new apartment over here in beautiful Vilnius, Lithuania. Really happy. But, still, there were bits and bobs you had to pay, the parking spot, the finalization of things. So a lot of cash expenses, as I said. So definitely, the cash holdings were melting down, but that's fine. And also overall interest rates around the world are coming down, right? That does impact my overall returns. I had months previously when I had also money on Nexo and other exchanges where I got 4 or 5%, with higher cash holdings, well over $300-400 a month, which was great. But that's totally fine. I'm not upset about it. I'm now in the process of rebuilding some of my cash reserves, still investing the same amount as always. But technically, I could be investing even more as I want to increase my contribution over time. But right now, I continue investing the same amount while rebuilding my cash balance. And if you want to check out where you can get the highest interest rates for your money, if you're either in the UK or the EU head over to Match My Broker. I'll leave the link down in the description below, where you find both of them. Starting off with the UK over here, you see the highest payers right now in the UK. So you can check it out. It's updated on a monthly basis. So you can see here how much you could be getting on your money right now. Lightyear and Train 212 seem to be really attractive. And the cool thing is all of them are without lockup, right? So you can literally deposit the money there, earn pretty much daily interest for most of them, and you can withdraw it anytime. And of course, if you head over to the link and sign up through those links over here, you can also grab some nice bonuses there as well. And of course, for our European friends, there is the same table over here updated for July, and you can see here all the various bonuses that you can get across the board. Obviously, now since the ECB again lowers the rates, all of those other banks and apps are following suit, more or less the same right now. Train 212. And of course, at the highest one is Bondora, which is technically not a full bank or stockbroker, but a very interesting fintech solution, which does have slightly higher risk. But of course, at 6% return, I really enjoy it. And that's why, as you can see over here, I parked quite a bit of my cash right now on the app to get 6%. You can see so far, interest I earned 76 euros. And yep, 6%. And the cool thing is, it's paid out to me on a daily basis and just keeps on compounding over time. Right now, I earn €1.61 per day, which is really cool, right? I mean, definitely not too shabby just by having my money sit over there. And the cool thing is, if I want to withdraw it, I can withdraw it anytime. There's no lockup period. Same day, I would have it back in my Revolut account in this case. So really, really easy. Unfortunately, it's only available for Europeans or Swiss and UK people, but you got to have euros in your account that you'll be able to send, because they can only receive euros. So that's very important to keep in mind. And if you want to check them out, I have a link down in the description below, which if you use it, you'll also get a €5 welcome bonus. Now, the rest of the interest came from Revolut as well, which I mostly used. However, my interest rate did go down since I recently decided to downgrade from Revolut Ultra now to Metal. So I think it used to be 2.5%. Now it's only 2% on instant savings. There's also Euro Flexible, which is 1.97. So pretty much the same. And they do similar things. So yeah, very similar concept. On my dollars, however, which I still have over here, I earn right now 4%, which is not too bad, right? On Wio Bank also, you can see down here, Wio Personal and Wio Business, which I have in the UAE. Technically, the biggest amount of my cash is actually sitting in Wio Business. Unfortunately, you can't just pull it out whenever you want. And right now, I'm not earning interest on that, only on my personal account, which is 6%, which is really cool. And lastly, let's talk about cashback, which I use with my Revolut Pro card. In the past, I used my Wio card, which I still use. But since I'm right now in the summer back in Europe, I don't use my Wio card because the foreign exchange rate was a little bit too high for the cashback, despite the cashback being 2%. So I decided to use my Revolut card mostly when I'm here. And yeah, you can see for last month, I earned 40 euros. So obviously, I also spent a bit more since I came back, but yeah, definitely money that I wouldn't have otherwise. And right now, since I downgraded from, as I said, Ultra to Metal, also my Pro cashback dropped a little bit. Right now to 0.8%. It used to be 1% on the Ultra plan. There you have it, another monthly update. And hopefully the next month I'll do this. We finally hit the 100K and surpassed it. And that's also the beauty of, again, investing for the long term, right? Because imagine if I wasn't investing any additional money right now and just kept the 100K, over time, as we say, on an annual basis, you return 8 to 10%. Let's say 10% annual return you would have. So next year, without adding any extra money, it would then be 110,000 already, right? Or if you think about it, one day, hopefully, which I will know, that I will get eventually, if I just continue doing what I'm doing, I will have 1 million in stocks and ETFs. That's not a question. It's just a question of time, but it's going to happen, right? So one day it's going to be 1 million. And then imagine not adding any more money, just leaving it over there at a 10% return. Then you make 100,000 euros or dollars, whatever is your currency, in 1 year, just from the growth of your portfolio. Now, of course, nothing is linear, right? It doesn't mean every year you grow 10%. There might be years when it drops a little bit and other years you make 20% return. But averaged out over time, that's really where compounding starts kicking in, right? Because, a 10% growth on a 1,000 euro portfolio, for example, is 100 euros. Not really exciting, but as the numbers get larger, the returns also get proportionately larger, which is, for me, super exciting. Once you hit a 6-figure portfolio, the next step is, of course, to reach 7. And obviously, the time to get there will get shorter because the growth will start to accelerate. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Next up, check out this video over here. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.